Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 1, rough draft. I left you an email with a suggestion of how we might be able to overcome this PDF upload issue. I'm not sure what's happening. It could be because you didn't have access to your computer, which is fine, but it does promote a little bit of an issue for me because I can't see all of the formatting. So it looks like you might have had a table in here. If you did, I can't see it. If you don't, you need to put one in. So that's really all that we needed to be concerned with. It looks like there is a table because I can see very definitive lines, but it's not coming up in any way that I pull up your paper. So as you know, the paper is divided into 4 separate sections, and each one of these sections you've identified exactly the issues that are within. The one thing that I want to share with you is this area here where we have items in a series or items with a list of items of similar nature. So here you have a list of 3 types of communication inhibitors, and then you're giving a definition of sort. You want to make certain that each one of these is the same or in the same format. So the first one, you have different cultural level having a different set of responsibilities that subordinates do not understand or cannot relate to. And then you say the need to view things as a whole to make important decisions. You want to maybe like put a lowercase and make this a semicolon and just sort of use this as a definition versus 2 separate sentences, because what you have here is caused when the listener is not patient to gather the information, having a lack of motivation, cooperation. You want to have them all in the same type of formula or format. So either definitions or full sentences, but not a mix of both is what I'm trying to say. So these instances, you did a great, you gave a great examples of very specific situations where you listed the type of inhibitor that was in play and then described how that inhibitor, the result of having that type of inhibitor. When we head down here, you do give an evaluation on a scale of 1 to 100. I want to point out a couple of things that I showed that I noticed. And the first was what's called the use of or subject-verb agreement, and making certain that you have the appropriate form of a subject. So, you're using subject form and not objective. So here it says, myself and my subordinates typically communicate well. This is the subject. And you want to say, my subordinates and I typically communicate well. One thing that you do when you have a plural subject and you are including yourself, just like, it's kind of like that polite thing, and in general, you always give to someone else. That's the way I always teach it, is you want to make sure you introduce someone else before yourself. So you just put yourself last, and you would say, my subordinates and I typically communicate well. I, because you're the subject as well as your subordinates. So double check about that, making certain that you're using the correct form of, subjective, possessive, or objective throughout your paper. And that's it. It looked pretty well. It looked very well written. I look forward to reading your final copy.